Today we have here at our office, Christina Fletcher from Royal LePage State Realty. Thank you for coming here today, Christina.
Thank you so much for having me, Dee.
Actually, Christina, I noticed that you just changed your branding, which is honestly, I love it. I love it. It's very edgy. What made you choose that type? It was a rose and a key?
Yes. So I've been getting a lot of feedback that it's hauntingly beautiful. That's someone else's quote. However, I chose it because I love, obviously, real estate. And the rose is for Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses.
See, I knew it. It's an edgy rock and roll.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it, right?
So, nobody said it was hauntingly beautiful, by the way.
It's hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I do. I loved your branding because as soon as I seen it, it is different from like Royal LePage, right?
Yes, exactly.
So it does set you apart from other real estate agents. You're not just following their typical branding, right?
Yeah, I find that the branding is becoming more and more popular and is so important to, individualize yourself amongst other realtors. Although we're part of the same brokerage, we're not all the same at all. No. And we all offer different things, and it's kind of shows your personality a little bit, but also your professionalism, because you've got these beautiful I obviously went with a company to do mine. I wouldn't be able to do it myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like it. So we'll see those signs pop up this year.
So it does differentiate yourself from other realtors. So what makes you different from other realtors? So why choose Christina Fletcher?
I feel like most of my clients, all of them, I would like to think, but a lot of them, we have a lot of fun during the process, and I keep it nice and light. I know that it's a stressful time. Since I've been in the industry, purchasing a home is difficult. As well as selling, there's so much emotional value already invested in that home. I like to keep things light, always look on the positive side of things, give a lot of information, always helpful and useful, and we have a lot of fun during the entire process.
Yeah.
And we get great results.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I find because, I get a lot of first-time home buyers, and they're always so nervous, right? It is a scary thing. And we have to be the professionals to, bring them back down and keep them calm. Like sometimes I feel like I'm their therapist.
I know, it's so difficult too when you find a home you love or they love, and you're in competition. Yeah. And then if you miss out on that home, they think nothing else will ever compare. And, they're so disappointed with it. However, everything really does happen for a reason. And there is always the next home. And it always makes sense why it didn't work out for the first one, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Or if it does for the first one, it makes perfect sense why it did that way too.
Yeah. So getting pre-approved, how important is it, do you feel, like does every buyer need to get pre-approved?
Of course. It is the first step. I don't take buyers out anymore that are not pre-approved. I've learned now that I've been in the industry a little bit longer. I've had a couple offers fall through on clients that were confident in an amount, and then we found out they're not approved at that. In particular, now with the stress test in place, it really decreases your purchasing power, and it is so important to know from the beginning what you should be looking for and at what price point.
Yeah, because I've had clients where you get the accepted offer, and I'm thinking that they have been pre-approved, right?
Yeah.
So when you go crunch the numbers, all of a sudden the numbers don't work.
They don't make sense. Exactly. There's a lot of people that do an online approval or, something through an app that may not be accurate. And I always say without that submitted documents and, looking at the credit bureau and your scores and what your debts are, it's not a real accurate pre-approval.
No, it's not, because there's many times where we had, like not me or not people from the Costa Group, but we'll have a client saying they've been pre-approved, but no credit was pulled.
Yep.
So how can somebody get pre-approved when none of their credit is there, because just a car payment, which people don't realize, can make or break a deal. Right?
Exactly. And changing something like that, a payment or further debt prior to close, can also affect your financing. So it's so important to have all that information up front, work with a professional like yourself to get that pre-approval, and then I'll take it from there.
Yeah. See, it's so important that, even us as mortgage agents, mortgage brokers, we value our real estate partners because, we need each other.
We really do. And you want to be confident with who you're working with. That's why we refer one another, so we know, oh, well, Dee will definitely take care of it. I know that her numbers are accurate, and this is a firm pre-approval, if you will.
Yeah.
Meaning, obviously, it comes down to the house at the end of the day, but I know my clients are approved.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes in situations where they may have gotten their own or done something online, it's very inaccurate. And I've had deals where I've had to last minute shift or pull to different mortgage brokers because who they originally tried to work with or online, which is nobody, didn't come together.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Carmen mentioned something a while ago, and she was saying how, just to real estate agents, you're essentially allowing who you work with to carry your pay all the way to the end, because really, in reality, if that financing falls apart, there is no sale.
Exactly. And you need to find out whether or not there's going to be an appraisal as well. All these things can affect the entire financing. So it's so, so important to know that you have accurate answers from the beginning. And it starts with what your client can afford.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so important for them to know that too.
Yeah.
Of course. It makes a big difference on what they look for.
That's what I'm saying, is because you have some realtors that first question is, have you been pre-approved, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, who works with these agents? Because all the agents that we work with, that's their first question is, we won't even work with the buyer if they're not pre-approved.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense to begin your house hunt when you don't know your budget.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so the market obviously has shifted, or it's changed since 2017. That was a crazy year. I know, even, talking with you then, it was like, price war or competition. And even we had so many that year where every purchase came in was firm, no condition of financing. And that's pretty scary, right? Because we always say, make sure you include your condition of financing. So how do you feel this year in comparison to even last year? Where is it going?
Well, I felt the beginning of last year, due to the new stress test and everything, everybody held back a little bit. It wasn't until mid-year, for me anyways, that everybody kind of was like, all right, we're still going to make a move and we're still going to purchase. And the market hasn't cooled as much as we thought. If anything, it's bouncing a little bit, but it's still up year over year in certain pockets. Maybe not as much as 2015 over 2016 and over 2017, but it is still on an increase. Now, what I can say the biggest difference is our conditions are back. So you don't necessarily have to go in. You never have to go in firm if you're not comfortable with that. But more than not, people are putting back in conditions. So even if you are in competition, conditions are present. I have personally been in competition every time this year so far, and even competition on a lease.
What?
Yeah.
They have that?
Yeah. My client had to go to Mississauga to meet the landlord in person, up against someone else to see who he liked better, because everything on paper was the same.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think this market's strong, and I think it'll continue to be strong. I do think there'll be more inventory for the buyers like we've been seeing, but that inventory does not mean price decrease.
Yeah, because I have so many now that say they're pre-approved for in the range of, $350 to $400. It's taking them a long time.
That's the most challenging price point.
Yeah, what is it with that price point?
That's the most affordable price point. So you're dealing with people that want to downsize in that price point, first-time buyers. people that are looking for a flip, investors. It's everybody's hungry for that price point of home. So it typically does take a little while and some competition, and you see quite a range of things in that price point too, from things that are not good,
Yeah,
or need a lot of work.
I know, because even like I have a family member now looking for a home, and he's like, "What's with these properties?" He's like, "Why does it look so nice online?" And then when you actually go and see this home in person,
It's like a Tinder date.
it's yeah, like,
Yeah.
what is that?
I know.
Like, how can you take that many good pictures?
I know. I think, the pictures are what bring people into the home. However, I always try to keep them somewhat realistic, because I don't want 1,000 showings for my clients and nobody's offering. So you can filter them as much as you want, but you got to be somewhat honest in your actual reflection of the home. I think also, what were we saying about that price point? Yeah, so what I was saying is you see a lot of things that are maybe overpriced at $300-$400 and maybe should be closer to the $249 mark.
Yeah.
And then you see things that are priced very, very accurately, and that's what creates the competition for them.
Yeah. So do you have any sellers that, because when we had back a couple of years, homes were 50, even 100,000 more than asking. How do you bring them down to reality and saying, your house should be listed at this price, but they have it in their head that no way, like my house is worth this price?
That's always a challenge. Every seller loves their home for the most part, and always want or think it's worth a certain value. I think working with comparables, and if that doesn't work off the bat, just simply time and feedback from showings, getting them to a more realistic price point. However, there's also, on the opposite spectrum, sellers that truly do believe in all the comps, and we price it accurately or a little bit less to try to stir, and it goes for a little bit higher than what we originally expected. So those are always the better ones to work with.
I know. This is where you need patience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you find any challenges in real estate? Like for us, it has been the stress test.
Yes, of
and
course.
I'm sure that's been affected.
Absolutely.
For you too, right?
I had a lot of clients that were just on the verge of purchasing at that time where it was coming in to play, and we had received notice, but they didn't jump in time before the stress test, and then now are no longer approved at all. And I think that's, as Canadians, we love our real estate. Everybody has the mindset of if you can own, you should, and I really believe that as well. So I think if there could be maybe the 30-year mortgage back into play, maybe that would give a little bit more purchasing power back to buyers and help them get into the market, because leasing is great for so long, but you are essentially paying someone else's mortgage.
Yeah, for sure, right? So that would help improve the market for sure, right?
That's what I think.
The 30-year, bringing it back to, if you're putting less than 20%.
Yes.
Because that
20% is very difficult to put down, especially as a first-time home buyer. If you don't have equity in another property, or you haven't built equity over a couple properties, 20% is a substantial amount of money. So typically most are able to put down 5 to 10.
Yeah. If there's anyone looking to buy or sell, please contact Christina Fletcher. She is top-notch. We love her. The Costa Group loves her. You will be well taken care of for sure. Thank you so much for coming in today,
Thank you
Christina.
so much. And the same goes for Dee. If you need a
Thanks.
mortgage pre-approval.
Thanks.